Hello, good day everyone, especially to our instructor in CS223, Mr. Reynan Amoges. I am LORENZ DACA, the first reporter of Group 6, and today we are going to discuss about names and bindings. So, what is names? Names are a fundamental abstraction in a languages to denote entities. Names allow us to reuse definition from the earlier point of the program, and they are characterized as having a single definition and many uses as we would like.
A definition binds name to meaning. Meaning can be a value, type, and function. Valid names vary by language, camel case, foobar, and Lisp name. Name or identifiers denotes values, language, and entities. It is constants, variables, procedures and functions, and types. Entities have attributes. Sa entity, there are some examples. Sa entity nga constants na ay examples nga attributes, type, and value. Sa variables, ang example is type and location. Sa function is ang signature and implementation. Other example sa entity nga customer. Customer ID, first name, surname, date of birth, and address, phone number are the attributes for the entity customer.
Keywords and reserved words. Some name-shaped words have special meanings. If, while, tip, return, class. Reserved word means name with fixed purpose. Keywords means name with a fixed purpose only in some contexts. Fortran. Integer real exclamatory point integer variable real. Real integer exclamatory point floating point variable integer. If equals 7 exclamatory point assign number to a variable if. So, keywords is a word that is special only in certain contexts. Example, Fortran. Real apple. Real is a data type followed with a name. Therefore, real is a keyword. Real equal 3 and 4. Real is a variable name. Reserved words. Reserved words is a special word that cannot be used as a user-defined name. As a language design choice, reserved words are better than keywords. For example, in Fortran, one could have the statements. Example, integer real. Keyword integer and variable is real. Real integer. Keywords real and variable is integer.
To continue the topic about binding time. What is binding time? Binding time is that bindings can happen at various times in program execution and even before program execution. Binding time the phase at which binding itself place. Language definition. Time binding. Last time binds to addition.
This time, I'm gonna explain the static and dynamic binding. In Java, static binding refers to the execution of the program where type of object is determined known at compile time. For example, ug ang compiler nag-execute sa code kay bao ni siya or unsa ni or unsang klase or asa ni siya nabilong. While sa case sa dynamic binding is the type of object is determined at runtime. So, ang static binding is may tabo ni gamit ang mga normal function, while ang dynamic binding is may tabo po siya gamit ang mga virtual function. So, in static binding, real objects never use static binding. Then sa dynamic, real object use dynamic binding. And then sa static binding, itawag po siya og early binding, compile time, method overloading, etc. While sa dynamic binding is tawag po siya og late binding, runtime, or method overriding.
Here are the key points, and again, the name allowed to share the information and the definitions. It can bind names to attributes, and the attributes contains many properties such as types, the values, and access rights. And lastly, the definition. It can create bindings at various times, and it has compile time or static binding and the runtime or dynamic binding. And that could be all. And again, we are the group 6. Until then, have a good day, everyone.